In this video, I'll be building a keyboard kit sent over by Epomaker, and they did give the keyboard kit the switches and the keycaps used here. So huge thank you to them, and if you're interested in everything used in this video, remember to check out Epomaker, links will be down in the description below. But first, let's take a look at the Mini Panda 64 hot swappable acrylic DIY kit. So you get a thank you card by Epomaker, the Mini Cat 64 user manual. I think it's the same as the Panda 64, that's why you get the same user manual, and a pretty normal Type A to Type C cable for the keyboard. And this is the kit right here, so you can see the 64 key layout over here, which is in a 60% form factor, and on the top you have the Panda giving you a high five. This is what the side looks like, so it is a stacked acrylic build, so you can see all the layers of the acrylic and it kind of looks transparent, you can see through it. And on the back you can see into the PCB, you have a little Epomaker mark right here, and you have your two non-slip nibs, and of course the back of the Panda. The plate included is also transparent, and I believe it's made out of a PC material. And right underneath the plate is the foam included, and it kind of looks like polystyrene foam for some reason, and it does feel like it too. There's also 4 stabilizers included, and these are some plate mounted stabilizers that have the Holy Panda color scheme on them. They are stock stabilizers, so they are not lubed or tuned yet. I'll be lubing them later on. And as for the PCB, it is a hot swap PCB, and it's 5-pin hot swap, so it will support 3 and 5-pin switches that are the cherry style switches. The PCB is north facing, so the RGB LED is on the top, and it looks really bright when turned on, and this is how the keyboard looks like with the RGB on. Honestly, it looks very bright and really cool, and the RGB does shine through the whole thing because the whole thing is acrylic. On the back you can see that there are some underglow RGB included as well, and it does shine through and the whole thing is very bright. This is what it looks like from the side. You can see that the RGB shines through all of the layers of the acrylic. And if you're wondering, yes, this PCB does support QMK VIA, so you can customize it in the software. Now let's start the build. First things first, I'll be taking out the stabilizers here, and I'll be lubing them with some Permatex. I'm just dipping the two sides of the stabilizer wire, and make sure not to use too much, it might get too sticky and it won't work perfectly. And now we can move on to the switches. The switches here are called the Epomaker Budgerigar Tactile Switch, and they come with 30 switches in one box. It has a blue and cream color look to it, and it's actually the feathers of the Budgerigar bird. The stem in the middle, which is blue in color, is made out of a POM material, and the bottom and top housing is made out of nylon. And you also can see a cutout for the LED light, so it will shine through these switches really nicely. On the back we can see it's a 5-pin switch, and this switch has an actuation force of 47 grams and a total travel of 3.8 millimeters. But the thing I like the most about these switches is that it comes looped from the factory, so it saves you a lot of time. You don't have to loop these switches individually. And now moving on to the keycaps. This is called the Epomaker Panda Keycaps Set. It comes with 132 keys, and this is a PBT keycap set. It is XDA profile, so all of the keycaps have the same height, and it does have this kind of rounded design on it. Overall, it does feel pretty good in hand, and it kind of has a rough texture on it. The PBT material here is really good. As for the printing on it, like the pictures and the legends, they do look really sharp and clear, and the color on them is saturated. They use dye sublimation for the printing, so it's basically printed on with heat, and it's pretty durable, so it won't smudge or crack after some time. I think these are pretty cute, but they're not really my taste. Let's put it onto the keyboard now. And finally, with everything installed, this is what the build looks like. I think it looks pretty decent, but of course the standout feature here is the RGB. And I'm also pretty curious to hear how this keyboard sounds like because it is a stacked acrylic design. So now let's move on to the typing sound test so we can hear how it sounds. And that is how it sounds like. Honestly, it does sound pretty good to me. It sounds really clean, clacky and pearly at the same time. Even though it is a stacked acrylic kit, I think at the end of the day it does look good and it sounds really nice as well. So this Mini Panda 64 is a pretty fun keyboard kit and it's pretty easy to build. So if you're interested, you can check out Epomaker. And of course, a quick thank you to them for sending over everything used in this video. Links will be down in the description below. And that does it for this video, guys. Leave a like if you like pandas, dislike this video if you don't like pandas, subscribe to my channel if you haven't. I have even more content like this one coming very soon. And as always, thanks for watching. Goodbye, guys.